Well, welcome back to the Daily Wander. It's been a little while since I've done my last video. A lot of life events have happened, and sometimes you just have other things that take priority. But we're out here today. Yesterday it was 80 degrees in the North Pole area, which actually made us hit 80 degrees earlier in the year than Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for the first time in recorded history. Random fact there. But today a front has moved in and it is probably about low 50s. Some light rain, a little bit of wind. So we're not cycling today, but instead we're going for a paddle in hopes that this afternoon things will clear up a little bit. Well, let's see what else is new. What else is new? Well, we're trying a different recording platform now. I decided I really didn't like to leave my Sony camera out in these kind of conditions, as it's not a waterproof camera by any means. So we purchased a GoPro Hero Black 8, or Hero 8 Black, whatever the name. But now I've got something that I'm not too worried about getting wet or fall in. That would be okay too. But today we're out on Pile Driver because it's really the only open water we've got right now. Winter held its grip until about, maybe a week and a half ago. And suddenly it is gone. The snow is gone. In fact, we're going through a season now which we call green up. Green up is basically the buds are coming out on the trees. So long waited, and like true Alaskans, as soon as green up happens, we all get to start complaining about the mosquitoes because the mosquitoes come out about the same time. So we're just gonna go for a little paddle here today. Never know what we might see or not see. Might just be a gray, drizzly day. But as I mentioned earlier, the life events that have been going on in our world. Originally, way back in January, we were scheduled to head down to Florida and Georgia to do a little winter cycling. We kind of figured out the system for easily folding and packing our recumbent trikes. Had the boxes ready, everything was in the boxes. And about a week before our scheduled departure, had a little dental issue that led to some dental surgery, which led to stitches and some problems in the mouth. And so that trip got canceled, which was a huge disappointment. Looking forward to cycling someplace we'd never been. In fact, I have never been in the state of Florida. So a little disappointment there. But in true fashion, we then opted to say, well, that's okay. We'll just reschedule a trip. And instead of January, let's go in February. And so looking at various tickets and opportunities, we decided that we would fly into Sacramento, California. Spend a few weeks cycling Northern California, Redwood Forest, a little bit of the Pacific Coast. And that trip was looking very attractive. Temperatures were going to be good. On top of that, we were going to be able to visit a recumbent trike dealership because we had given some thought to possibly updating our trikes. Again, the trikes are packed, the boxes are done. The only thing left is to tape the boxes shut, put them in the truck, and head off to the airport. But it wasn't meant to be, apparently. because 12 hours before we were to depart, Lisa came in speaking of a severe headache, and so we kind of looked at that. She went to bed and proceeded to begin throwing up every 15 minutes for a few hours, and then slowed down a little bit. Long story short, emergency room the next morning. I've canceled the trip, and we have found out that she has suffered a brain bleed. Technically, an intraventricular hemorrhage, which basically, well, a series of events began at that point for the next 3 weeks. We medevaced to Anchorage. Got to ride in a Learjet, not what it's cracked up to be. Subsequent CAT scans and MRIs did confirm the brain bleed. Initially, we were given a diagnosis of a few days rest, some monitoring, and then the healing process begins. 3 days later, as she goes in for a standard angiogram to map the blood flow to her brain, make sure everything's working well. She unfortunately suffered a stroke at that point in time, and that stroke led to the cancellation of trip number 2. Well, the hemorrhage and the stroke then led to a 3-week vacation in Anchorage with accommodations provided as we both were in the hospital. After 3 weeks and about 10 days of fairly intensive occupational and physical therapy, we finally were given the release, or I should say I took the release, so that we could return home. So, Florida and Georgia canceled. California got the axe. We actually had one more trip planned, tickets bought and everything. First week of April to fly to Ohio, visit some relatives, and subsequently cycle in Kentucky and Arkansas and Oklahoma and Texas. Things were looking pretty good in terms of Lisa's recovery, making good progress. So we thought, well, we'll give it a try. And then, as you probably are very aware, and we're aware, well, the whole COVID-19 event escalated to the point where travel was canceled and restrictions were put into place, and suddenly the third trip of the season was canceled. So one has to find a little humor in this, find a little blessing in this. Yeah, so it's been a long winter up here in Alaska, so So where does that leave us? Well, Lisa's recovery is going quite well at this point. She's able to cycle usually somewhere in the 12 to 15 mile zone before she gets a little too fatigued. And she's doing that, well, it's probably been 3 or 4 times a week in the last 2 weeks that the cycling season has opened up. She's still receiving some occupational therapy, but daily life it's doing well, She's still working through sensation coming back, which that's quite a journey in and of itself. And hopefully sometime soon we'll have her back in her kayak so she can continue working on the strength and coordination of her left arm, which is still recovering. And for another video, probably the next one, I'll spend a little bit of time talking and showing the trikes we upgraded to. We decided to take the plunge and pick up a trike that has rear suspension on it, has continued folding capability, thus travel, and that other little option that is, well, helping Lisa in her recovery and just plain nice to have. We've decided, and well, not just decided, but we did upgrade our trikes to something with a motor, an electric motor no less. E-assist technically, meaning if we don't pedal it doesn't do anything. But it has eliminated those two things that I think cyclists probably to some degree would agree on. We don't really like, and that is headwinds and hills. Again, we'll probably show that to you maybe in the next video. But for now, I think we're going to continue on with our paddle. We've kind of reached the turnaround point. So we'll spend a little bit of time paddling back. Hopefully if we see something worth looking at, we'll show it to you. Other than that, thanks for, well, today coming along with a little paddle. The weather's cleared up a little bit, no longer raining. Here in the Daily Wander. GoPro, stop GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.